Productivity simmers down to two steps: focus on the essential, eliminate the distractions. Today, we have with us an expert on productivity, Dr. K. A. Ravindran. Stay with us. Cheers. Welcome to Sip and Talk with Vikram, Dr. Ravindran.
Thank you, Mr. Vikram, for calling me in your channel and to talk to your audience. It's my pleasure to be there with you. Thank you.
So, Dr. Ravindran is a bachelor in commerce, bachelor in arts, master's in personal management, and a PhD in management as well. A very well read and a highly educated person in the field of HR and personal management. And he has been working with several large organizations with very high level of high productive management. They are Japanese collaborated companies at large, and Dr. Ravindran has got a very wide and rich exposure, which led him to write two books. And today we are going to talk about his book. Today we are going to talk about his latest book, High Productivity Practices. So, Dr. Ravindran, can you briefly tell us about yourself first and then about your book?
But, as you briefly said about my academic background, I am a commerce graduate. I done my law graduation also. Then I did my master's in HR. After that, I finished my PhD in management. Altogether, I have around 30 years of work experience in the corporation now. I worked out with all Japanese companies. Long period I worked with Japanese. That is all productivity in my blood came in. So I live in Delhi. This is what a brief about me. If you talk about productivity, the role of productivity in building national welfare is recognized universally. So it's a very important subject at national level. It is not at the micro organization level. That's my view of looking at.
So productivity essentially is what, according to you? What do you see productivity as?
See, productivity is the ultimate result of merging or combining human skills and interest, management, technology, and environment, both social and business environment. So, in improving productivity, the role of understanding and managing of change is very important. So that's what I'm talking about. Even in this book, also we are talking about a lot of change management. So the change can only bring the higher productivity. This is what I believe in. What is productivity?
So, Dr. Ravindran, you went ahead and you interacted with several leaders in the industry, and you gathered information from them. So, how tedious was that kind of a process to reach out to so many people and then gather information from them?
This is not a short-term assignment. It was a long, since many months or maybe last 2 years, I was targeting this activity. It took a lot of time to to come into book shape. I started this activity exactly maybe 1.5 years back. I put this idea in the social media through my network, where I wanted to connect with global leaders, because I don't want to concentrate only with Indian leaders. So I wanted to be this more of a connected with the global leaders, where diversified leaders, where they got multiple experience with multiple organizations. Even when I talk to diversity, I try to maintain the gender, the country, everywhere I try to maintain that. So diversity was one more focused area I put in this. I found very difficult to find out lady leaders actually. So female leaders was very less. I got still 3 leaders in this book. People, leaders were not coming up. When some leaders came, then finally they dropped out. So I choose around 100 leaders. I got so many sponsors from LinkedIn and Facebook and many. But then handling those 100 people was not that easy.
Obviously.
It is getting sorted out. Then again, the time management, you talk to the global leaders, there is a time gap difference. When I'm online, they are not online. So many challenges I come across. Then finally, I had to shortlist few people from there. And after shortlisting also, there was many people, they were not able to make the commitments like as per my requirement. And again, I had to do a lot of shortlisting. So finally, I shortlisted 21 leaders to subscribe in this book. This is how I landed up.
So that was a wide funnel of 100 leaders, which came down to 21, and
Yes.
I'm sure those 21 had contributed the best of what you required.
Yes.
So how do you manage yourself? You are also a leader in your industry, and how do you manage your own personal lifestyle, your habits, your ways of working? What are your daily hacks?
See, daily of late, I become more of health conscious because you to be healthy is one of the most important to be productive. So having right food habits is one thing you need to maintain. So if you have right food habits, if you are healthy, so the productivity is something it can be generated through your energy, what energy you get through the food. So you should have a right food habits. That's very important. Of late, I realized earlier, when I was young, I was not very much. Of late, now I realize this wellness across the organization throughout. The people, they have to be healthy. That is one most important factor for anybody to be a productive person. Right? Then you have you should have been all activity has to be very planned way. You cannot have suddenly coming up into your plans. So you have more of a scheduled activity you have to carry on, so that your output is as per what you planned. Then empathy and fair dealing with people is very important for me. So in generally, in today's generation, this is what missing in people now. People don't understand the other's pain. So the empathy is something very important for me. And anything you deal, that has to be with very fairness. That is very important for me. And the team is again very important. Without team or without your people, you cannot do anything. So being into HR, I believe this taking your team along is very important as a priority for any leaders. So these are the few things I believe. And at last, the delegation. Being a leader, you have to take out the productivity through your people. So that the delegation, effective delegation, and giving the responsibility and the monitoring is very important. The day you start measuring the output, maybe yes, you become more productive. This is what I believe.
So viewers, I hope you are absolutely enjoying this engaging conversation with Dr. Ravindran. Do post in your comments, and those who are watching for the first time, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to stay notified. Dr. Ravindran, coming back to you, you have got inputs from so many leaders, and they have all come from different walks of life, and they all have different opinion about this when they are asked about the same things. So what have you summarized as learnings, key takeaways from them to be incorporated and imbibed in your own life?
See, one common factor came from this is everybody is disciplined. without discipline, you cannot achieve anything. So this is one line. If you ask me to know the learning, so all leaders are very very disciplined. Their even if you talk about their personal habits, the social habits, or maybe at the workplace, they are very organized. They're very systemized. So unless you are not organized or systemized, your productivity can go you can achieve anything. So these three things, it's the very very common what I found from these, which it's with me also. I believe in these three things. You have to be very disciplined, organized, systemized, and respect the time. Especially the others' time is you have to respect and act accordingly. So you can create your own time, but others' time you cannot create. So when you oppose anybody, you have to respect those time of that value. So this is what the common factor I got through this interviews. There are so many. Every individual is unique. They all practice their own unique practices, but it's very very because 21 people have their own unique practices, which will be difficult to discuss in detail. But a common factor what I found, these are the few items what I found from the
Yes, almost everybody talked about doing a yoga or a morning walk or
yes,
any sort of breathing exercise or something or the other. But
yes.
they do have a me time early in the
So what
morning.
I said earlier,
Yeah, yeah.
anything in this book also, if you see, everybody is very conscious about their health also.
And almost every leader talked about focusing on one thing. Like as Jack Ma said, that if there are 9 rabbits on the ground and you want to catch one, then you run after only one.
Yeah.
So, what's your take on that? Doing that just one thing, because these leaders have to do so many things. How can they just focus on one thing? What's your take on that?
Uh, no, leaders cannot say that because it's again survival of the day or survival of the moment. So that is the time you need to focus on the one thing. That is what they mean by that. So when you talk about the whole day, you cannot stick to only one thing. When there is a crisis in the organization or crisis with maybe some disturbed customer comes in the organization, then they have to be alert. So you cannot suddenly stop saying that no, I am busy in this. So if the priority is customers, then you have to change that priority immediately. So focus has to be changed from time to time depending on the situations. So you cannot just say that okay, I am stick to this. So that way the leader has to be shown some kind of flexibility in their approach.
So, on one hand, there is, a scientific way of management, as we are discussing.
Yes.
On the other hand, there is an art of people skill. So, okay, you are somebody from HR background, so you are good at that. You are good at both of them. But what about rest of the leaders? How good are they in the art of people's management?
Of late, my experience also now, the people handling is a problem in the organizations. This is the fact that we need to accept it, because training those people management has to be there in the organization at any level. If you are not a good in a good people management, there are chances every day there can be some conflicts happening in the organization. So this is very important aspect, and the organization sometimes they don't look at these aspects, training those leaders into handling the people. the the day you are able to handle your people, their issues, the conflicts, you become very effective leader. That's what I believe as an HR head. So you have to avoid conflicts in the organization. That is only possible if you have a right skill to handle the people. So people management is become very very vital in the organization. Irrespective of any operations, you have to be an effective role model for handling people. Then only your productivity can be matched. Otherwise, you can't take out work from these people unless you properly manage these your team.
So, as you said, that the conflicts have to be avoided. Now, avoidance of conflict is one way, but there are so many inevitable situations where the conflict do arise. And how do you suggest what are the effective ways of conflict resolution? It could be one to one, it could be between people, or it could be one to many. How do you suggest in handling these conflicts? How do you resolve?
Avoid means what I said. Uh, you should avoid generating the conflict. That's what I mean. Right? So you should create a right culture in the organization where people love each other. That bonding has to be there. So if you have that right bonding in the organization, I don't think this will erupt any time. So the right team management. That if you talk about my first book, this is the topic what I discussed.
Yeah, we would like to see your first book if you are having it handy
Yeah,
here. Yeah,
yeah. This is my.
yeah, yeah. Build a high performance
Yeah.
culture.
This is what I'm talking about, the culture. So the culture is the foundation for the high performance or the productivity what we are talking about today. So if you create a right culture within the team, the conflict may not happen. The chances are very less. So you create such an atmosphere in the organization. You create such a culture where people love each other. They create their own harmony with the organization. So I don't think there will be any conflict in that case. So that is what I talked about earlier. So the people, the leaders, they have to be trained to create a right culture in the organization, create a right bonding, and they should give a belongingness feeling in the organization. You should generate a belongingness. You belong to the organization. You belong to these people. So when the day you achieve that, I don't think there is any the conflict coming in the organization. I experienced my last organization. We had very good mutual bonding. Still, we meet. After we worked together. I worked in that organization 17 years together, and still we connect with everyone. Now, even today's organization what I am engaged, I'm more than connected with those organization people still. So that's a kind of we developed a kind of family atmosphere. We had still a bonding with those people, and still we meet. So that the day you create that bonding, your success as a leader. This is what I believe. So conflict should not erupt at any moment in the organization. That has to be handled by the leaders. That has to be trained by there has to be an opportunity to train for these leaders. They have to come out with this kind of culture development in the organization. This is what I my take on this.
So culture develops and it matures slowly like a good wine.
Yeah.
And in times like these, when the employee turnover is high in some industries, fresh people keep coming in and keep moving out, and a lot of work from home is happening, wherein you don't have those mutual bonding and engagements. So, what has changed in your approach towards creating a high performing culture?
Yeah, this is one major challenge in today's COVID era. The engagement level has drastically gone down. What I earlier talked about, the personal touch is missing in today's world. That's very very sensitive in the organization. Still, no all what in the industry, if you see all the HR professionals, they are trying to make out through all the online possible engagement activities where people are still connected, but still just missing the personal touch. But HR professionals still they are making some kind of attempt to connect through online. A lot of changes have been taken place in the organization in terms of the touch and feel aspect. So there's a challenge. We have to accept it. Because in COVID period, there it is not only the work. Other than work, there are so much other emotional disbalance going on in the minds of the employees. So that has to be taken care. So that is only possible through online. But now maybe the situation is improving, and especially in our city. So maybe we'll come back. Personal touch is important. That's what I mean earlier also. Unless personal touch comes, this sticking to the retention on the happiness will not come. So a little bit on online.
So Dr. Ravindran, it is said that the money is the biggest motivator. So you just pay them well, you reward them enough, and that's it. So how do you differ or agree with this? statement.
I don't agree to this. Money is not only the connecting factor. No. Money is important. I'm not saying money is important. Uh, but certain level, certain stage, money is not important. I come across many people when we do exit interviews, right? So there are people, they talk about some cultural mismatch, some conflict issues. So even though they were highly paid people, they still leave the organization, isn't it? So it is not only the money factor comes that time. And even yesterday, I met one of my ex-colleagues after long back. Uh, we were discussing on this topic actually. He was so happy after meeting so many years, and he was talking about how good we were in the organization, how kind of family-oriented organization, how we were very very good at meeting each other and discussing problems. So yesterday when we met, he was talking about all these culture, how we created the organization. Now these things are missing in any other organization when he went to other organizations. So he exactly talked about this. So that time we were not worried about money, right? We were all happy being together. That was the exactly statement I got from him. No, I'm talking about it just happened yesterday. This. So for him, it was not money connected with me or connected with the organization. So we discussed that we never discuss money, but we always were happy working together in the organization where we have more values, more culture. I'm telling you, just yesterday this happened to me.
So it is also said that people usually leave the organizations, but they don't leave the company, they leave their bosses.
Yes.
I mean, why? Why? After working for so much time together, why is it that that bond is not happening? And those bosses are leaders in their own way, aren't they?
Yeah. To some extent, yes. In that such scenario, what I would say, there has to be a detailed analysis. There is some gap between the employee and the leader. There is a gap in developing the right relationship or the bonding. So somewhere there is a gap. The leader has to come into his shoes and understand those gaps. So I don't think any employee coming to an organization with a high aspiration of living his career with a lot of expectation growing. So the leader got that responsibility to fulfill those aspirations. So somewhere the leader has to be there in his shoes and understand his problems and give a solution. So unless you don't get into their problems and understanding, I don't think there will be any solution coming out. So what I feel here in such situation, the leaders come into more of an egoistic. If you're ego, I don't think you will get into that gap, or in their shoes. So first, what throughout my this 30 years of experience, exactly what the example we got, what all throughout I experienced that these the specific problem happened because of the leaders' ego. They don't want to come down to the employees' shoes. Employees are there for you to it is up to you how you utilize it. They came with a very high aspiration dreams. So it is you as a leader, you got a responsibility to fulfill his dreams. So that has to be there. You cannot just blame the employee. So you are a leader. Your responsibility is to develop these people and bring into your main stream of business. Take out all the productivity what you are expecting out of him. So that is only possible when that employee is happy with you. If there is a gap there, because we all are different, unique individuals. So everybody got their own expectation, their own way of working. There will be some balances, differences in that. So that differences has to be managed. That has to be balanced. That is where you have to be a leader. No, otherwise you are not a leader. So if you want to be really a successful leader and you want to retain your people, you have to come into their shoes, understand their problem, reduce those gaps. Gradually, you will see a magic coming in, and the bonding will be created. This is what my observation throughout my career.
It is also seen and observed that people have their own expectations, and expectations can never be fully satisfied for any human. So, no matter how much you motivate with money or encouragement or support, people do need some, some faster growth in life, and that
Yeah.
is why, the Gen Y or whatever Gen Z,
Yeah.
whatever you call
I
this
was
present
coming to that.
generation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So irrespective of whatever you do or whatever you try, and they have their mindset. Okay, 1 year, maximum 2 years, and then they want to switch.
Yeah.
So
There's a gap now.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting topic actually. Yeah. There's a gap when the new generation coming into organization because they are not long term. These generation they are not looking at long term career as such. So they have always that fire inside to become an entrepreneur. They want quick money. This is one new aspect coming into it's a real problem in the organization. So people who don't stick to the organization in long term, so they want quick money. So that way we have to we have to change in our approach also. So more of a when we talk about productivity, when they are giving higher productivity, there is time to look at our giving back to the employees. So how quickly they can earn money if they are giving the higher productivity. Yes, why we can't share those money what we are earning out of it. So this way they maybe they that some solution can come in. So maybe more of a productivity oriented wage structure, because the whole world is changing towards now the performance oriented wage system. So maybe we have to look at that way. So maybe we can address that way.
So, Dr. Ravindran, you and I have spent about 3 decades in the, one kind of system, one kind of organizational structure, one kind of management. And the way things are changing now, work from home and all that, people the work teams are becoming more and more faceless and non-cohesive. So, how do you address to these challenges that, this is going to be the way for a while now? So, how do you address to these new challenges? What are your views and advice on that?
See, so in this faceless situation, there is advantage and disadvantage both. So what earlier also said, the touch and feel is missing. But yes, if the one way, if you see the employee comfort and the some people they have given extremely high productivity and they are at their comfort. So challenges are there, but that if you see at the positive way, there are, especially I'm talking about the productivity point of view. What in our organization, we found that somebody is working from home, we found very effective at their work, found a lot of result. But of late, become monotonous for them because they are not able to move out from the home, coming out interaction become more problem. So that is one aspect coming in. So with that, then we started calling employees few days in a week or few days in a month, so that they will feel that they are connected with still with the people and the organization. So that way some changes brought in. Now but we started now 100%. We don't feel such a thing. So maybe way forward the corona will situation will improve, and we are eagerly looking for everybody come back to workplace and work together. So that has to happen. But faceless cannot, especially I work with the manufacturing setup. So there it cannot happen. So especially there is a challenge with the manufacturing industries where faceless cannot happen. But still there are some jobs still can be managed with work from which we managed. But we found some people will be extremely doing very good at when they work from home. So they found very comfort at home. But there are some issues, emotional side and the physical side. If you say there are issues which has to be addressed. Faceless cannot go long. That's what my take.
Okay, so you have to come back to that old normal.
Yeah.
So you are fond of reading, Dr. Ravindran, and I can see there's a lovely personal library you have created behind you. And so, what are your favorite books, authors? What's your genre? What do you read about mostly?
I generally read self-help books. There are so many books I don't want to name off, but look at these so many self-help books. If you see the back, I have there. I don't stick to only one area or one. So being HR person, more of a management books I read.
So, what's your favorite getaway with family? Favorite destination? What kind of vacation? What do you love to do with them?
Uh, See, my family vacation, we are away from our hometown. We live. So our vacation restrict to only hometown. So they are happy to be there with family members every year. So still we don't go as such. No, they planned outing like no maybe other countries or some. No, in a year we get few days vacation. We prefer to be there with our parents, our relatives. That's our core vacation every year we plan it. We wait for the vacation to happen, no, reach back to our hometown. That's how we enjoy our vacations. But yes, of course, short trips we go, but not to many places because we restrict to our hometown. That's we get refreshed there with our family.
Any particular place you love besides your hometown?
Uh, Within India, is many places we go. But yes, there are dream places now. We have to explore outside India, which to plan. In India, so all hill stations we covered, and there are beaches. Goa, I belong to Kerala, so Kerala beaches we already been there. Then all hill stations be there. Munnar,
God's own country.
also still many to explore.
So, any other hobbies you practice to keep yourself charged up all the while?
These days, only now no writing. Writing is become now of late. Killing a lot of times that become passion now. That become the hobby. Writing now I'm into my next book, so that is taking away a lot of time.
So give us a curtain raiser on your next book. What is it about? What are you going to write? Let your readers hear this from you on this channel for the first time.
Yeah, I declared in
breaking news. Breaking news.
I declared in my book launch also. Again, same topic in the HR area. Tentatively, I kept that title: "Happy Employee, Happy Employer." This is what I'm thinking. I just laid out my the all chapter I have finished. Broadly, I made the book layout now. So hopefully, yes, I will be able to finish soon. It's just in the initial stage. So this is what I'm just looking at the title. I don't know whether of late it will be changed or not. For the time being, I kept this as a title.
So viewers, I'm sure you are looking forward to reading his third book, which is going to be as awesome as the previous two. And do subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to stay notified, keep posting in your comments. Dr. Ravindran, before we end this conversation, what are the 3 must-to-do things that you would like to tell to the viewers to enhance their productivity, to enhance their leadership?
Number one, you have to be very organized. You have to be very planned. You're planning and organizing and become a systemized person. If these 3 things you take care, and ultimately you become a disciplined person. So this discipline will take you to be a more productive person. So planning, organizing, and become a system-oriented person. The system will take care of everything. You have to follow the system. You develop such system where your productivity is taken care. These are simple few practices I follow. I believe in this.
So that's a key takeaway, viewers. Create a system, such a system that the system takes care of itself and it is not totally dependent on you being out there all the time. Thank you very much, Dr. Ravindran, for these beautiful insights, and thank you for coming on the show. Namaste.
Thank you so much for calling me in your channel. Thank you so much. I enjoyed the discussion thoroughly. Thank you so much.